Dear students, very good morning to all of you. So in the last class we have discussed about what is the relation between sun and earth, what is extraterrestrial and terrestrial radiation we have seen. In this class I am going to discuss spectral energy distribution of solar radiation. Spectral energy distribution of solar radiation. Okay. So in the last class we have discussed that sun releases energy uniformly in all the directions. We have told it. Okay. Already we know the solar intensity will be, if it will be minimum in the morning times, slowly it will be increased. It will be maximum exactly at 12 noon. Again, on time passing on, slowly solar radiation will be decreased. Okay. The very important observation will be solar radiation will be continuously changing from time to time. That is the first point. And one more point what I have discussed is solar energy will be released into the atmosphere or to the extraterrestrial or terrestrial regions uniformly in all the directions. The question will be, is it to provide, already we have discussed as an electromagnetic waves. All these electromagnetic waves will have same wavelength or different wavelength. That is the important question. Okay, because of the intensity is continuously changing. Okay, the wavelength also changes. Okay, so by keeping some solar radiation devices in extraterrestrial region and terrestrial region, solar radiation is recorded, and if a graph is drawn between solar radiation and the wavelength, which you can call as, you will get a spectral solar radiation for both extraterrestrial and I have recorded in the terrestrial region and I have recorded in the extraterrestrial region. I have the solar radiation with respect to wavelength. If I have drawn a graph, you will get a spectral solar radiation. You can observe here. In the y-axis, solar radiation distribution watt per meter square. And the wavelength will be in micrometers. The solar radiation released by the sun, so will have different wavelengths. Here, based upon wavelength, I have divided solar radiation into three types. First one, if the solar radiation is the wavelength, let us say if the wavelength is less than 0.38 micrometers. If the solar radiation is less than 0.38 micrometers, that solar radiation you can call as a visible radiation. That solar radiation you can call as a visible radiation. Around 6.4%. If you say 100% is the solar radiation released from the sun, this will be around 6.4%. The visible radiation released from the sun will be, let us say, 6.4%. And next one will be, if the wavelength is in between 0.38 micrometers to 0.78 micrometers. If the wavelength is in between 0.38 micrometers and 0.78 micrometers, straight away you can say that the radiation will be visible. The radiation will be visible radiation. If it is less than 0.38, the radiation you can call as a ultraviolet radiation. Less than 0.38 micrometers, you can call as ultraviolet radiation. So which will be around 6.4%. If the wavelength is between 0.38 micrometers and 0.78 micrometers, straight away you can say that the radiation will be visible radiation. It will be around 48%. If 100% is releasing from the sun, 48% will be visible radiation. And the last one will be, if the wavelength is greater than 0.78 micrometers. If the wavelength is greater than 0.78 micrometers, straight away you can say that. Okay, so the region will be infrared. The radiation will be infrared radiation. Infrared radiation. The radiation you can call as a infrared radiation. Okay, next. So this will be 45.6%. This will be around 40. Okay, if the 100% of radiation is coming out from the sun, out of which 6.4% will be ultraviolet radiation and 48% will be visible radiation, and you will have 45.6% will be, okay, so infrared radiation. Infrared radiation. Likewise, you can also observe here. Okay, so this is the curve. The upper curve will be for extraterrestrial radiation. Upper curve will be for extraterrestrial radiation, and lower curve will be for terrestrial radiation. Already we have discussed that. Okay, the solar radiation, okay, first reaches to extraterrestrial region. Okay, so and next, okay, it will be entered into the atmosphere. Through atmosphere, it will comes to the earth. It will comes to the earth. Okay, so the extraterrestrial radiation, okay, will be approximately equal to the radiation that is, okay, provided by the sun radiation. Sun radiation. So you will have always the peak extraterrestrial radiation will be more than that of the peak terrestrial radiation, because, okay, so after entering into the atmosphere, it will be absorbed as reflected. Finally, it is reaching towards the earth. So always, okay, the terrestrial radiation will be, the peak terrestrial radiation will be less when comparing with the peak extraterrestrial radiation. Always. Okay, so you can observe. Okay, the peak value for these two is, okay, approximately 0.48 micrometers. That peak value you are getting approximately at, okay, 0.48 microseconds. You can observe. Okay, 0.48 microsecond approximately you are getting the peak values. Okay, if you see, okay, so the area under the terrestrial radiation curve or extraterrestrial radiation curve, you will have, okay, terrestrial radiation and extraterrestrial radiation curves, you will have the total amount of the radiation. Okay, you can calculate the area under extraterrestrial radiation curve, you will get the total extraterrestrial radiation observed, okay, in that particular period. Likewise, you will have terrestrial radiation. From the terrestrial radiation curve also, you will get the, okay, total terrestrial radiation in that particular period of time. Okay, the area will represent. Okay, so likewise, okay, all these things we have discussed. In watt per meter square, you will get the radiations. Okay, so this curve represents the spectral energy distribution of solar radiation. And the next topic will be depletion of solar radiation. Depletion of solar radiation. Now coming to, so first what we are saying, sun releases solar radiation into the, okay, releases in all the directions uniformly. First the solar radiation will be enter into the extraterrestrial region. Okay, next it will come into the atmosphere. Before, okay, how it will, okay, behave in the atmosphere, we have to discuss about what are the different particles in the atmosphere. Okay, you will have some gaseous particles. And you will have suspended dust particles, and you will have liquid particles also. These many particles are there in the atmosphere. Okay, gaseous particles like ozone you will have, oxygen you will have, and nitrogen, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, like that. All the gases will be there. Okay, and okay, water particles like water vapor, water drops will be water droplets. Okay, liquid particles like water vapor and water droplets will be available in the, okay, atmosphere. Likewise, you will have different dust, solid dust particles also available. All these particles are available in the atmosphere. Once the solar radiation enters into the atmosphere, okay, it will be absorbed. Okay, so solar radiation will be depleted because of two actions. One will be absorption and the second one will be scattering. Because of these two processes, okay, the solar radiation will be depleted in the atmosphere. First one will be absorption. First one will be absorption. We can see selective absorption of various wavelengths occur by different molecules. What is the meaning of it? Okay, you have different molecules in the particles in the atmosphere. Okay, so there may be a gaseous molecules, there may be liquid molecules, there may be a solid molecules. Okay, different molecules are available. Okay, and okay, you are getting solar radiation, and solar radiation is entering into the atmosphere, which will have different wavelengths. Different wavelengths. Okay, it may be infrared, ultraviolet, or visible radiation. Different radiations. Okay, solar radiation coming into the atmosphere with different radiations. Okay, now there is a selective absorption. There is selective absorption of, okay, that you can observe here. For example, all the gases, it is a carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen, whatever it may, all the gases will absorb ultraviolet radiation. Will absorb the ultraviolet radiation. Whereas water will absorb the infrared radiation. You can observe here. Nitrogen, oxygen, ozone, and other all gases, okay, will absorb the ultraviolet radiations. Will absorb the ultraviolet radiations. Whereas water vapor and water droplets will absorb the infrared radiation. Will absorb the infrared radiation. Okay, finally, dust particles and other air molecules. Dust particles and other air molecules will absorb any type of radiation. Any type of radiation they can absorb. Like this, selective absorption by different particles in the atmosphere takes place whenever solar radiation entering into the atmosphere. Okay, so this is about the absorption. Next, coming to the scattering. Okay, now scattering by dust particles and air molecules involves in redistribution of energy. Okay, for example, let us say this is the earth and this will be the atmosphere, let us say. Somewhere here some dust particle is there, let us consider. Somewhere here some dust particle is there, let us consider. If the solar radiation comes and strike this dust particle, okay, the energy of the solar ray will be redistributed. The energy of solar ray will be redistributed in all the directions, in different directions. Okay, all the, if it is reflected, that will be reflected back to the atmosphere. Okay, what we are saying, when a solar ray strikes the solid dust particle, okay, then what will happen? The energy will be redistributed. Okay, some will be reflected back, and okay, it will be distributed, and some rays will be reflected back to the atmosphere, and some rays will be diffused to the earth. Okay, so likewise redistribution of energy will be takes place when a solar ray strikes the dust particle. Okay, so you can say that redistribution is a scattering process. A part of the scattered radiation is reflected back, what we have discussed now. Is reflected back to the space, and the remaining will be downwards towards the earth, directed downwards towards the earth from different directions as diffused radiation. Next, coming to, without scattering the sunlight to the space, the sky may appear in a black color. Okay, so because of, okay, whenever solar ray strikes some dust particle, some of the energy will be redistributed, some of the energy will be reflected back. Because of that reflection, only the sun, okay, the sky is looking, okay, in a blue color, otherwise it may look like a black color. Okay, that is the main reason. Next, in a cloudy atmosphere, the atmosphere is cloudy atmosphere, clouds will be there. Whenever solar radiation is coming, what will happen? Clouds will absorb some energy and clouds will reflect back some energy to the atmosphere, that you can observe. Okay, the rest will be transmitted to the earth as a diffused radiation. The rest will be transmitted to the earth as a diffused radiation that you can observe. Okay, so the energy is deflected back to the space by three ways. First one will be energy may be reflected back to the space by, okay, clouds, solid dust particles, and the last one will be reflected back, okay, from the earth, which is called as a albedo. Okay, likewise, okay, so solar energy can be reflected in a three ways. First one will be reflected by clouds, it will be reflected by solid particles. Finally, 30% of the solar energy received onto the earth will be reflected back to the atmosphere, which you can call as a Earth's albedo. Likewise, you will have absorption and scattering process. The solar ray intensity will be keep on decreasing after entering into the atmosphere to the reaching towards the earth. Okay. Now I am going to define three different radiations: beam radiation, diffused radiation, and global radiation. Okay. So coming to the first beam radiation I would like to discuss. Okay. Beam radiation will be defined as if the radiation received onto the earth in a straight line path without any inclinations, that you can call as a beam radiation. Beam radiation. This will be the earth. If the radiation received towards the earth with an inclination, that you can call as a, or with diffusion, that you can call as a diffused radiation. Or this you can call as a diffused radiation. Okay, let us say if a radiation strikes, if a solar radiation strike a solid particle, some energy will be redistributed, some solar ray will be reflected back, and some will be reached towards the earth as a diffused radiation. So, if the radiation reaches towards the earth in a straight line path, that you can call as a beam radiation. In a diffused form, if it reaches to the earth, that you can call as a diffused radiation. Global radiation is nothing but combination of beam radiation and diffused radiation. You can say global radiation is equal to beam radiation plus diffused radiation. Beam radiation plus diffused radiation. So, like this, you can have a beam radiation, diffused radiation, and global radiation. So, now you can observe here direction of sun's ray with respect to the atmosphere. So, let us consider. So, when the sun is moving from east to the west, it will provide sun rays with different angles. To provide sun rays, let us say it starts here. Whenever it is moving, solar rays strike there with a different inclination. If it starts here, it will strike horizontally. So likewise, whenever it is moving exactly at 12 noon, it will strike vertically. Okay. So again, it will strike the earth in an inclination manner. Let us say at some position. So the solar ray strike in a horizontal manner like this. And in some at 12 noon exactly it strikes the earth vertically. Now here I am defining. So somewhere here at the inclination manner it is reaching towards the earth. The angle between extraterrestrial radiation and the horizontal will be, let us consider, alpha, and the angle between extraterrestrial radiation line and vertical line, let us say theta z. Theta z. This I am calling as a AB, and this I am calling will be AC. Now I am defining a factor, air mass factor, which will be defined as path length traversed by beam radiation to the vertical path length of the atmosphere. That you can call as a air mass. So the same thing you can put in an equation. M is equal to BA by CA. Vertical length will be CA and path length traversed by the beam radiation will be BA. The same thing, BA by CA. So you can have secant theta x is nothing but BA by CA. The same thing I have represented with the secant theta x. Next, the same thing, cosecant alpha also you can write as the alpha plus theta is equal to 90 degrees. Where alpha is the inclination angle and theta z is the zenith angle. So this is about depletion of the solar radiation in the atmosphere.